Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. If I sound like I'm mumbling, it's just the exhaustion, nothing to worry about. So right now I'm doing a... What am I doing? I'm doing a channeled reading. I've had a ancestral person egging me on to channel their message for a couple of days, and like one of the other more recent channelings that I've done, I know who he is, but he's logging into this reading as a guest, and we'll just have to take it at that. So I've pulled the decks that he requested. I've got two new decks coming. I've got an Oracle deck and a Tarot deck coming, and I was thinking, oh, I could wait till I get those to do this reading, but my guest commentator today did not want to wait, so we're going to do this now. And I've taken my double deck of Tim Burton and historical fashion cards and taken only the fashion cards out because that's what was requested. I've got, this is playing cards, just regular playing cards. I've got the Cairo Marchetti Legacy deck. I've got the Work Your Light Oracle deck, and I've brought out the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, but I've mostly because my guest today wanted the spider card specifically, and I've shuffled and cleared all of these decks, including this one, just in case I need to pull any clarifiers afterwards. So we've got the spider card here, and we're going to start with this, and we'll just jack into the what's it called? Interface? User interface, and see what our guest would like to say. Alright. Now, I did skim the book for this, just to get a sense of what the author intended the card to mean, and it has to do with working through stuff both materialistically and spiritually, just sort of weaving this life tapestry from your experiences and keeping to your life's work without getting tired, because you're aware of your purpose and you have a strength in that. And we get the sense of strength from the number 8 being in tarot, the strength card with the lion on it. Now, in this card also we see the chakras, and we have this idea of a spiral of cycles repeating and time coming back in on itself, with each layer getting larger and encompassing more things. Now, when I went to pick this card out, I heard in the back of my head the song Boris the Spider, and I think The Who did it originally. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. But I have it by the Claypool Lennon Delirium on the... I don't remember what it's called, but it's the little green EP. So we have Boris the Spider. Weaving this web. Now, I'm gonna sit here for a minute and see what my mystery guest would like to say about this card. You gotta go a little bit slower, I can't catch all of that at once. He's giving me images. Finely woven tapestry cast about the table for a grand feast. The royal feast. But who's coming to dinner? There'll be fine wines and chocolates for sure. The grand party all the best are invited. It's a little bit of harpsichord in the background. A fine statuary draped with garlands. What a lovely party. With the finest in the land. Okay, that's I get the imagery, but what's the message here? Oh, okay. It doesn't matter how fine you weave your cloth. What matters is what it supports. What people will be feeding from it. How are you nurturing or nourishing those around you? Checking my time here. You can feed on oranges and fine wines, but what's the point if you throw it up? But surely if your tapestry is full of cockroaches, your guests will be sick anyway. The slime molds that are woven into a fabric not worthy of being on the table will surely turn your cornucopia into maggots. Interesting. Okay, anything else? This has to do with foundation. Sailing. A finely woven tapestry can be a tablecloth or a wind sail to carry you across the seas. I'm getting the song Sail Away, Sweet Sister by Queen. Is that it for that card? The webbing also has to do with a network, like the wonderful computer and the internet. When you use it to connect with people, you add to your fabric. You add to your the word is neural network, but they don't know that word. It's like an image of blood vessels growing along like muscle tissue and stuff. Like electric current. Like lightning burning through the sky. Okay. Alright, that's how they know it. They know it like lightning creating veins in the atmosphere. But what they're showing me is a neural network. Okay. So the web and connection to others and foundation. Threads of the finest silks, strong and durable, although smooth and gentle as well. It's a double-edged sword. And discernment is important. Is that it? The rainbow is there because you have to tap into different energies. If your fabric is made up of only one kind of thing, it's like only growing one crop. If there's a famine, everyone starves. So you need these different radiating energies built into the web that you're weaving of your network of different personalities, but also like a symphony with different notes in it. You don't want it to all sound the same, look the same, feel the same. It has to have density and texture. Is that it? Oh, I think that's enough for that one. Let's move on. Alright, so we'll put this over here by my little figure guy. You see it? No, you can't really see it. It's true. I kind of reduced the frame of... We'll just stick it back here anyway. Okay. So let's pull some cards. Okay, so fashion deck first. Okay, so... Oh, okay, I guess these two then? Okay, sure, why not? Okay. So we've got 4 of Cups and 7 of Cups. So we have an 11 here, generally to do with something that's divinely guided, having to do with time scales. And we have, both of these cards are actually quite similar. We have a duality. We have a woman here with basically a shadow version of herself in a lighter gown looking the other way. We have a dapper gentleman here and his shadow self in the back wearing a dark cloak and a scarf. Now, right away I could tell you that this reminds me of the Five of Cups, of the sort of death-draped person in mourning back here, but then we have this other guy who's like, check out my shiny new duds. So he's looking fresh and swole. And this woman here is kind of... She's like, I don't know if I like this one. I think the light blue makes my butt look better. This idea of... There's both a little bit of preening going on, and it could just be because it's fashion. I'm getting the peacock of the walk for this one. And I'm getting... is it Argent? Is that the... Hold your head high for this one. Hold your head up high. It's a song from the 70s. I think the band's called Argent, like silver, but okay. So what do you want to say about these cards? There's really something to be said for a good hat. I'm getting a sense of crown energy. Well, you simply have to wake up and smell the coffee before you can go out and smell the roses. I'm really attracted to this plaid here. Getting a little bit of a Princes of the Universe feeling. What else? You're strutting about in your finery, waiting for the next fashion to come into season. All good things are always in fashion. It's about your personal tastes and what you really want. Which makes sense, because like traditionally this card is not being satisfied with what you have, even if you're being handed it to the divine, and this one is having either a lot of choices or a lot of distractions. So you very much get the sense of... That's like the kink's dedicated follower of fashion. And what that has to do with both ideology and the physical world itself. Is there something else you wanted to say about these? Something else you wanted to say about these cards? Sometimes you have to turn your back on what everyone else is doing and follow what you truly feel. There's a lot of great artistic projects that would never have been completed if people followed the mainstream. Sometimes you have to think way outside your own hat to create something truly meaningful that has any impact. And it's quite doable as long as you trust yourself and pull away from things that distract you. Dissatisfaction is the first step in making a choice. Is that it? Is there anything else for these two cards? You need to have your own back as well. And stand up for yourself. No one else is really going to do it. You have to have your own backbone. And so I like this sense that there's like someone out there for you, but also this sense of Kundalini being like kind of two snakes joined together, where it's like two people, but we're really looking at the people that are looking forward and upright, that are kind of staring back at you with this sense of like, I know I got it. Is that it? That will do quite nicely. Alright, so we'll leave those two there. And did you want any more of these right now, or are we going on to the other ones? I would like to work the light. Okay. So I'm going to start a new segment, camera, so I don't forget where I'm at all of a sudden. Just make sure this is... I just want to make sure this is still in focus. Because I can't... Yeah, that still seems to be focused. Okay. Alright, so, Mr. Guest Man, what else would you like to... What do you want with these cards to say? Work your light oracle cards. Whoa! Did you really want like half the goddamn deck? Okay, so this one and that one. Do you want any other cards for this heap right this second? One more will do fine. Okay. You just kidding about that other one? You keep going. That one? No, that. Oh, okay. I guess you do want that one. What the hell was that? Just a little bit of good fun, huh? Alright. So break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? And Lemuria. Creating heaven on earth. It's happening. Okay. So this is sort of like a progression. Okay. What did you want to say about this? Start with this one. Okay. It's just another day of you and me in paradise. Pair of dice. The odds are in your favor. When you've done work and you've gone out to conquer the world, well, I'm getting, did I say it already? I'm getting Princes of the Universe again, like the plaid guy here, like Highlander, and a little bit of Yeah, I'm getting Princes of the Universe because it has to do with being in command of this sort of different terrain, but not really owning it. It's like you're in command of it because you've worked hard to create it. You've, you know, used magic to raise these crystals from the ground yourself. You planted the trees and loved on them and sang to them and made sure they had sunlight and put the dead things in the ground to give them nutrients and all that. And you worked hard to carve out a little nook here to sit in the sun and meditate and all that. So it's like landscaping, but from the inside out. It was like you have to create this heaven on earth within to be able to experience mastery of the world around you. Okay, so he's saying it's something that I never quite achieved in my life, although I sure tried and experienced it in moments of the limelight. It's a network. It's a network of people working together towards a common positive energy. It's a feedback where they give to each other and give back, and they're all centered in one thought and one goal and one action at a time. Anything else? The world is the way that you make it. You can affect change. Anything else? Not for that card. Okay, so we'll put that there. So let's go back to these two. Okay, so did you want these up together? Okay. So here is where saying, it says on the card, where do you need to establish better boundaries? Now you see all these hands coming at this person. It's a woman on this card. Presumably a woman. And she's got this really, she's trying to expand her energy, but she's got all this like angular static here and this sand trying to come down like an hourglass, drowning her. She's trying to get to this rose, which is like one of these roses, like up in the top, to experience this expansion. And she's trying to ground, but she's got all these people coming at her, just grabbing and trying to take her energy away from her and saying, I deserve this, or you owe me this, I want it, gimme, gimme. And she's got her hands out and she's trying to block them. She's trying to open up her kundalini, kind of like these people here, where they've opened it up to the point where they've become like their own, they've got their yin and their yang together with them. And she's trying to open up this pipeline in her chakras for that energy and get these energy strings off of her. Okay, so let's see what our guest here has to say. And he says, sometimes you just have to put your foot down and not be willing to put up with the bullshit anymore. You say, yes, I appreciate the help that you gave me, but you've taken too much, you're pushing too hard on me. That's a song, by the way, by the Seeds. What's my time at? Okay. You have to stand up for yourself and fight for what you know is right. And if they don't like it, they can take a fuck and walk it off. It's a funny way of putting it. It's a funny way of doing it. Yeah, I agree. It is a funny way of doing it. For other people to come in and try to take from you as if they earned it when they didn't. They come for you when they see that you're creating something that scares them, that they wish they were able to make the grander, but they don't have the they don't have the presence of mind, they don't have the creativity, they don't have the drive and desire, they don't have an indescribable compunction, a perpetual motion of creativity, like a shark, where you cannot stop, where art is life, and life and death become the same, where you die to make art, and you live to make art, and you have to express yourself. The energy has to come out. That is the expression. And it breathes life to those around you, but not if they take it. If they take it as death. If they receive it as life. What else did you want to say? I know you had another thought, but I got lost. What was it? What was the other thought that you had? I couldn't say them both at the same time. I'm just trying to get back to what they were saying. They're giving me a series of images. They're just giving me Death on Two Legs. It's another Queen song. Anything else? It's like a crown. Pulling in the light. Oh, okay, so if they think they can't take what they want from you, they will try to destroy you. They will throw any manner of illness and inequity at you that they can until they finally destroy you and your body succumbs to their will and creates its own diseases. And you'd become a martyr for their... It's not greed. It's another word that's like that. Incessant. It's like you become a martyr for their hunger. It's like they're ravenous piranhas. There's got to be a word for that. It's probably some like German compound word. I don't know. Alright. So what about this one? We have Jupiter here. It's to do with luck in some ways. Grand scales of things. This sort of peachy color here as well is sort of... I know that orange is usually sacral and it's down here, but I'm getting this idea that it's supposed to be sort of like pink, like for the heart center. Breaking the chain. She's... It looks like there's a string of people coming out of this cave, but I get the sense that she's entering into it. She's accepting hidden truths and secrets and darknesses in her life and going in to do this shadow work wherein she works through it and destroys the ability of the shadows to bind her, and in that sense breaking chains, like if you had the Devil card in reverse, or if you had the Eight of Swords kind of in reverse too. But so it's this idea of breaking out of jail, of breaking free, of disintegrating bonds. So it says ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future. Okay, so let's back to our mystery guest. Now that I am an ancestral presence, I have the ability to look back on things in a grander perspective. And I know that I tried my best to disturb norms that were confining people. I made social change in the best way that I could from my own perspective, going through different stages of life with different upheavals of childhood and school and moving around and work and experience. All these things together, trying to find some sense of this inner paradise where I could push other people's boundaries to establish my own, where I would have fulfillment and be able to say no, fuck off when it was appropriate, and say yes, please, thank you, darling, I love you, and let people in when that time was right. Ooh, that gave me brain tinglies. That was a heavy emotion for that one. Okay. Give me tinglies in my brain space. Okay. So when you're trying to break through these bindings that hold you down to say, this is your station in life, this is who you're meant to be, this is all you're allowed to have, you say, no, I'm doing it. I'm doing me. This is what I'm creating. I'm doing this work so that I can be free of these chains. They no longer bind me, but now I can use them as weapons. And I need to get a different card. Wait a second. Get a card. Come on. Oh, my toe hurts. I just gotta find a certain card here. I broke my toe this spring and it hurts if I push on it too hard. I think it was like kind of cramming it into the ground. Where the hell? It's hard to tell if these are... Oh, there's the devil. Fuck. I'll find it in a second. It's probably going to be in the bottom of the deck just to mess with me. There it is. Okay. So, alright. So this idea of breaking the chain, once you have severed yourself from the ties of who you thought you had to be and who you thought you were allowed to be, you can then take those chains and use them as weapons. Now, you see this card from my bootleg music deck here that I made. We have the Two of Swords. Oh, I have this picture of, I think it's Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, and he's got these chains with like arrowheads on them, and they're set up kind of like swords in this image. Okay, you can see them there. Look at me here. So in that sense, the Two of Swords is like a low vibration high priestess. It's like a training card. It's usually a woman sitting out in the field with a blindfold on, with two swords, kind of hacking them back and forth. Now, I don't remember what the original meaning of that card was supposed to be. Basically, it's like the high priestess in training. It's like making a choice in how you think, of opening up yourself to these two different halves of your brain. It's perception. It's choosing to be able to see more than one viewpoint. And in that sense, you're saying, okay, well, I don't have to be, you know, it's like I grew up in these, you know, suburb brick houses, and we were lower middle class, and I had a lower middle class blue collar job, wait staff, teacher, service, whatever, and that's all I'm ever going to be, and I'm going to have to marry some somebody in my station, and we'll get married and live in the same kind of house and have the same kind of kids with the same kind of job forever and ever and ever. And it's saying once you break these chains, you gain this, the very act of doing that gains you this new perspective and saying, oh, I have a choice in what I do in the world. Okay, so what else? What else? Going? Okay, I guess we're going here. Burnt. Also, this song is Mortal Kombat theme song. Pretty kick-ass. Very chain-breaking kind of music. As in, you know, fatality. Finish the chains. Okay, I guess we're taking that one. What else do you want to say with this deck? This one kind of hopped out a little bit. Oh, flip one over. Anything else? What's the... Cream or somebody? What is that song? I gotta be free, I gotta be me. It's probably not Cream. Whatever, I can't remember. So we have the sun, which is kind of in reverse, but can determine if you want it that way or not. Okay, so we have 9 of Swords in reverse, we have 10 of Swords, we have the sun in reverse. Okay, so these obviously go together. And then we have Justice. So let's start with 11. So we have 11 and we have another 11. So it's like saying we have a choice between these two different destinies. So we have 22. That's 11 destiny, like a completion, a new beginning. 11 destiny, completion, new beginning. We have a choice between two destinies, and we're making that choice by severing these boundaries. Alright, I forgot to check the time. Okay, so I was saying that you have a choice between these two destinies. By breaking these boundaries, you end up with the two here, the choice. Alright, so you have one destiny and another destiny, and we're gonna go back to that in a minute. So the Sun card came out this way, but he wants it the other way. So we've got this Libra here, like this scales here, and then this kind of planetarium situation diorama thing with this dude here who's trying to move things around. And that way I'm getting, it's like you are in control of your own paradise. You have the ability to put your light where you want it to be. So this is 19, and then we have 19 swords here. Numerically in the same. So the 10 of swords is a completion. It's dealing with pain. It's this guy here's got 10 swords jammed all up in his back, and it's not in the fun acupuncture kind of way. He's also got this like indigo and purple robes here. Like all this pain is finally opening up his crown and third eye. And then we have 9 swords here, is usually this lady having nightmares. And we have these hands coming at her, much in the same way that we have them here. So it's like saying this nightmare of all these people coming at you and trying to siphon off your energy like vampires. It's going away. You're waking up from this. You've completed this thing. You've gone and say, okay, I'm breaking this cycle, I'm done with it. And here we have the 2 swords to prove it. So it's a lot of dealing with thoughts, it's a lot of dealing with truths, it's a lot of this idea of cutting things out that no longer serve you. Alright, so we have 10 and 9, and then we have 19 here, so it's opening up a doorway to new light for you. Alright, so what else do we want to say here as well? That's almost like saying we go 19, the sun, and then we come in and say this is what we're doing. We're making this choice to end this, which is 2, which is 1, 1, and then we have this 11 here for justice, which is right here on this card as well. So it's kind of a unit as well. It's a continuous story, and we go from this sort of blue and this purpley blue dark stuff, and now we're in the light, and then we still have this crown chakra energy, but we also have this brighter white energy to work with as well. Okay, so what did you want to say about this whole mess? You did quite a fine, nice job there, but let's see what else. Okay. So I'm getting pain is so close to pleasure. That's another Queen song. And also loud vehicles going by. Cars hiss by my window. The doors. Okay. Okay. So you didn't realize that you were in such pain because you just assumed that it was part of your life and that's how it was. When you go into this cave here and all this darkness and nightmares and this sort of peachy pink here is the same, similar to this nightgown that this lady's wearing. You go into a torpor, a sleeping beauty in the castle having pricked her finger on the spindle, and she's asleep for 100 years, and she wakes up. And in the story, I mean, generally you have the prince come to rescue her, but so many princes died getting caught in the hedge. And one day, when the spell comes to its time of being over, divine timing, the world opens up and she can now see again. So we have this white queen here, Lady Justice, and then we have this dark one here as well, and we have the yin-yang balance. We have this duality that creates the understanding and control that's needed for growth. And then look at this. We have this cave here, which looks a lot like this down here. So we go into the cave, come back out, and now we have this barren desert turned into this lush field. So is there anything else that you wanted to say about these cards? The sun is off and out. It's a song. I don't remember who it's by, though. Anything else you wanted to say about these cards? Ten of Swords, Nine of Swords, the Sun, Justice. You throw yourself around with the strength of a royal lion. You know that you're in command of your own jungle. Prance around on the stage of your own making. Cockiness isn't made of ego. It's when you're doing it for a laugh. You know that strutting about and flexing your muscles is just a game. And you're doing it in a light-hearted manner. And that way it's camp and everyone knows that it's for fun and not for pain. That you're expressing an idea of being satisfied in yourself and your outfit, but not what you're wearing necessarily, although fashion can be quite expressive. It's your outfit, your outrigging, your tools, your outfitting yourself to go camping. Literally and figuratively. That's a pretty funny joke. Your sun card is Leo. You're outfitted to go camping. That is really funny. Okay. So, did you want any other cards pulled, or is that plenty? It seems like there's a complete story here. Oh, and the web that you weave, the cloth that you make, that's what your outfit is made of. That is amazing. It's amazing. It's the bottom of the deck. So Ace of Wands here, but it's in reverse. Blue and white here. I almost feel it's like your passions are upended when you're not in your truth. Because the blue for me represents swords. Okay. Your passions are upended when you're not in your truth, because the truth is that you aren't stuck in this old life where you can only do what you were born into. That's what this has to do with. You're upending the roots, the truths that you were told, because you have a passion that doesn't lie in that stuffy, dreary, bloody, boring outfit. We're gonna zhuzh it up a little. Jazz it up. Okay, so what's this? So here again we have this Four of Cups idea. We're going, again, like literally I just picked this up and put it down again. So this is saying just the same thing. We're looking, we haven't been satisfied with what we've got, and instead of ignoring this feeling that we belong somewhere else, like is usually with this Four of Cups card, we're going to take it and make that choice to do something else. Bottom of this deck. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So again, it's that feeling of, I don't belong here. Oh, that's another song too. Oh, okay, it's Creep by Radiohead. I'm a freak, I don't belong here in this black and white world that's clouded over with whatever crap is still hanging around here in the cave, in this Ten of Swords, Nine of Swords energy. Alright? They're opening up their third eye. She's synthesizing herself. She's saying, okay, I'm not going to be spread out so thin from everybody pulling on me. I'm turning myself into one unified person, but with duality of dark and light. I'm opening up my heart and learning to get into my third eye. I'm going to say, okay, this isn't what I wanted. This is not the life for me. I'm doing something else. I'm not... Where'd that freaking... I'm not society person doing what I'm told. I'm tractor going by. Look at that. Similar hue there. Okay, so I'm not Susie follow the lead here. I'm kick ass, building a new city kind of a energy. And I'm also getting Starship. We built this city on rock and roll. Previously just versus an airplane. So, going from Children of the Corn to we built this city. That's it. Alright, so let's say thanks to our mystery guest and clairaudient friends. And I'll just get in here and... Is that gonna... Maybe I should tilt that up a little bit. Yeah. It's probably going to be blurry. There we go. There we go. So it kind of... Okay. Now, I've got 2 more astrological age readings to do. I think it was a Scorpio I did the other day. So I still have Sagittarius and then Aquarius left to do. And those will be sometime soon. And more specific entity channeling sessions like this when they hit me up. So I have a series of readings available that you can buy. There I have romance readings, life purpose, generic questions. I have ancestral trauma readings. I have a reading called I Can't Afford a Reading. It's only $9. So get a handful of cards for any question, including ones that have more expensive readings. So you just get sort of a pared down version. So go to the infomercial video in my channel. There will be a link in the description of this video and also the same link in comments underneath it, just to make it a little bit easier. So go to the infomercial video, you'll be able to see an outline of the readings in the video itself, and then underneath, that's where I keep all of my reading information. You find what the readings are called, how much they cost, different artworks and merchandise will be available in there. I have a few templates for art stuff as well, and all of that information is down in the infomercial video description box, and there are links to get there. So if you want to contact me, I'm Cat the Minion at YouTube, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Cafe Press, and DeviantArt. If you want to contact me, I am the Cat Came Back at Twitter or the Cat Came Back at Camp at gmail.com. And if you want to see what I'm working on right now on my art stuff, I keep sort of it's kind of like a running blog on my Facebook art page. That's T Kenyon Art on Facebook. Alright, so you can get stuff like my logo here. This is just a postcard from my DeviantArt that I got. And then I have merch on Cafe Press, like this necklace here, and shirts and knickknacks and all kinds of other goodies. If you want to order a little chapbook packet, I got some poems and little art cards in here. It's kind of like a mystery package of single issue tarot cards, kind of, depending on what it is, because it's all different. I've got some coloring books here that you can get. I've changed the covers, but they're going to be almost identical. So we got energy forms, we got Draco forms, and then if you want some Dark Night at the Soul poetry with a little prose tossed in there, we got Lantern, which I also changed the cover, but it's really similar. And also this is on Kindle now, so these are on Amazon, and the other stuff is all here. So please like and share, but mostly also please subscribe. I need some more people. I am lonely, and it's also, another benefit of subscribing is that when I do the thumbnails, I put like random artworks that I've made, so that'll be like any old thing I feel like is relevant to the video from, you know, the last 20 years or whenever. And there's more available, so. Won't you be my kitty cat friend? Meow meow. Bye.